Whee! Hello everyone. Bloody hell, look at that. That's a shop, that is. Right? And the reason why we're looking at a shop is because, well, apparently, like, the TV and everybody seems to reckon that people are struggling at the moment, like, with money. And, you know, people are finding it hard to survive, apparently, with the electric and gas prices and other bits and bobs and fuel prices. Apparently people are finding it hard to survive. Well, I'm sitting here well, I'm not sitting here, I just pulled up at this shop. I was going to go in there and buy a bottle of water, because I have a bottle of water a day to stay hydrated. I used to buy a coffee. I used to buy like a Costa cup of coffee most days. Then I stopped buying them because the prices went up. And the prices went up to £2. So I stopped having them every day. You want to know what their prices are now? I'll tell you. So, just for your regular, small regular cup of well, actually, we'll start hot chocolate. A regular small cup of hot chocolate, £2.70. Oh, mate. And then, if you want a regular, they call them a regular, but it's a small cup of cappuccino, £2.90. For a large one, £3.20. Now, I sat there for about 2 minutes. And because you know, I've got plenty of time, I pull up at the shop, sit and relax for a bit, have a look at some emails, and look around. There was people coming in and out of that shop with large cups, and you can tell a large from a regular quite easily. With large cups of coffee or chocolate, whatever they've got. Now, if people are finding it hard to survive and pay their bills, they wouldn't be buying chocolates, hot chocolates and coffees from a shop. They'd be making it at home, or not having it at all, but they'd be making it at home because it's a lot cheaper. So, and also alongside them, they got big bags of food or stuff, whatever they've got in their bags. So I beg to differ that people are struggling at the moment. Don't get me wrong, prices of things are stupidly high, but it ain't as bad as what people make out. I mean, I'm always tight anyway. I'm a bit of a tight ass because I want to save the money that I've got for my kids when they get older, right? But every now and again I'll get a hot chocolate or something on a Friday. A bit of a treat in the morning, you know, like a treat for myself. You got to treat yourself every now and again. But man, I ain't been doing it recently because it's not about being able to afford things. It's about the principle. Is that item worth the money what they're asking for it? So is that mug of hot chocolate, or sorry, cup of coffee or cup of hot chocolate worth £2.90 or £3.20? And the answer is no, absolutely not. Not in the slightest bit. Not from there anyway, because it's shit from there. So that's, you know, that's one of those things. In case you haven't noticed, I've got a bit of a croaky voice this morning. I don't know why. I must have just woke up with it. But anyway, yeah, man, I think it's mad, you know. It is crazy that everyone's complaining. Like, you hear it everywhere, don't you? Oh, things are so expensive at the minute. Oh, I can't cope. I can't pay the bills. I can't pay for this. I can't pay for that. And then you go to shops and you see people just buying stuff they don't even need, and stuff that's not even worth what they're paying for it. You know, like cups of coffee, £3 or £2.70 at the very least for one of those Costa coffees from now. I mean, the other day I got the cup out, I put it underneath, I pressed a button, looked through the screen, I'll have an hot chocolate, £2.70. What? Fuck. Go away. You know what I mean? It's just, the prices, it used to be £1, man. And then it was like £1.50, and then it went to, I don't know if it went in between that, but I remember when it was £2, and then it went to £2.50. And at £2.50 is where I was like, that's when I started, well, I think before then I started doing it only on a Friday. It's like a bit of a Friday treat for myself, you know, because I quite enjoy just sitting around with a hot drink. It doesn't have to be coffee. I usually get a hot chocolate, but it doesn't have to be coffee, you know. I do like coffee, but I don't drink coffee often. I don't know, I just don't. I like every hot drink, apart from tea. I drink tea, but I wouldn't choose it. Anyway, I like to sit there in the morning just before work to chill out, relax, because it's important to relax, to chill out. With a hot chocolate, you know, sitting there, watching a bit of YouTube, relaxing. Started doing it just on a Friday, but now I ain't going to do it at all, man, because it's more the principle. Like I said before, that ain't worth that, so I ain't going to buy it. But, like I say, I think it's crazy that you see these, you know, all complaining, oh, it's too much money, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, we're living in the slum. You know, they're all going, we're living in the slum, we're living on the breadline, we can't afford to pay the bills. Oh, what's that? You didn't need to buy that coffee from that coffee shop, did you? Oh, you didn't need to buy that over there. And there's loads of stuff you come and see and point out they didn't actually need, but they bought anyway. They could have spent that money on the bills. Bills are more important, even if they are extortionately expensive. There's nothing you can do about it. You've just got to pay the bills. You know, do your best to keep them as low as possible, and then you got to pay them. Because if you don't, you get yourself in a lot of bother. You don't go out buying unnecessary crap, you know what I mean? But, look, I live my life, people live their lives. But it does sort of annoy me a bit when you see people doing that, you know what I mean? You don't need to buy something. You get important things out of the way. Oh, there was another story. I saw this on the news. I don't watch the news, but I saw it on the news, and so they was interviewing this woman, right? She was like quite large. Actually, no, she wasn't. She was massively overweight. I'm not being rude about it, but it's a fact. She was absolutely huge, and they was interviewing her. Her cheeks were all puffed out, you know, and she was going, I can't afford to feed the kids. She had 3 kids running around in the background, and 2 were sitting with her at a time, then they run off. Her kids were normal size. She's going, I can't afford to feed the kids. And I'm like, huh? Look at the size of you. Well, why don't you stop eating and you feed them kids instead? Because you're obviously eating all the food that you do buy. And then she's going, I can't afford to pay any bills, I can't afford to do this, I can't afford to do that. And she's in quite a nice surrounding house, you know what I mean? She's got a lot of nice things around. So, you know, you just think, like, if you can't afford to buy food for your own kids, don't buy all that stuff that we can see around you, you know? She's got gold rings on all over the place, gold bracelets, you know, oh man. Covered in makeup as well, even though she was huge, she still wore makeup, which is fine. And you just think, well, don't buy that makeup, because makeup's expensive. Buy food for your kids, you know? You go on a diet, and your kids can eat. Oh man. I'll tell you what, the people in the news, they pick these people. I'm sure they do. They pick these people just so they get a reaction from the public. You know, and it makes people watch the news, that makes people talk about the news. Because if they went and they found somebody who was actually genuinely struggling. Like if they went down to a poor area, right, and they found a mum who was quite skinny, and the kids were, you know, and they lived in a house that was obviously quite a little bit run down, and they didn't have a lot of stuff, you know, and they filmed them, probably wouldn't get as much reaction as if they filmed someone who's massive, clearly eats all the food, and has kids running around, and is in a quite nice house, and obviously buys things she doesn't need to buy, probably in quite a lot of debt as well. That's going to get more of a reaction than if they filmed someone who's genuinely struggling. Yeah, it does make me laugh. Another one I see was it was a few weeks ago, when the petrol and diesel prices were going up, and they were in a petrol station, and they I don't know how they found this woman, but they found a woman. She had a Range Rover, and she just put diesel in, or petrol, probably diesel. She just put that in, right, and she was standing by the pump. She had £97, because I don't know, they didn't film the pump on purpose, but she was next to the pump, her Range Rover was there, the pump was there, she was there. She had £97 on the little screen, so she just put £97 in. And she's going, oh, the prices are ridiculous. I can't afford to fill up my car at the moment, right? And she was covered in makeup. She had nice clothes on, gold bracelets, watch, an Apple Watch, you know, rings and things, and a necklace. And bear in mind, she just put £97 in, which on a Range Rover would near enough fill it up. Trust me, I've had some. I've had Range Rovers, Land Rovers. And she's going, I can't afford the prices these days. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, something needs to be done and all this, going on about it, moaning about it. And I've clocked the £97. I've clocked what she's wearing. I've clocked her car. Well, if you can't afford it, get rid of some of that stuff. But you can afford it because you just put £97 in. What? What's it all about? They find these people on purpose. If they'd gone to the petrol station and they'd found someone with an old run-down Vauxhall Corsa that was all rusty and just about holding together, and they'd put £10 in, because that's all they could afford, if they had found someone like that and filmed them, and they were all run down themselves, hadn't washed and all that kind of stuff, the public would have just watched that news and gone, oh dear, yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? Some people, they can't afford things, oh man. But if they film someone who's quite clearly very well off, got a nice car, just put quite a lot of fuel in their car, wearing really nice clothes, if they film someone like that on the news, that's going to get more of a reaction, because everyone's going to be going, what I've just said to you, fuck off, she can afford that, you've seen what car she's got, look how much she just put in, look what she's wearing. See? The news is all just a load of crap. It is. The news, man. They do it on purpose, but that's what their business is, I suppose, isn't it? Their business is to get a reaction. Even if they have to scout people out on purpose just to get a reaction, that's what they want to get. But it ain't as bad as what people make out. Prices of things are high, but not as bad as what make out. Everyone's managing to get on. It's alright. The truth is, you lot, it's all about relativeness. As I said, is the thing that you're going to buy worth the money that you're going to spend on it? And at the moment, petrol and diesel isn't worth £1.98, which is here. It isn't worth that at all. So you have to buy what you have to buy. If you want something, look at the price. It's not about being able to afford it. You know, my wife says this all the time. If we look at something and it's a certain price, and I'm like, oh no, I don't think we should get that. She says, but we can afford that. And I say, yeah, but it's not about being able to afford it. I don't think it's worth that. You know, they're overcharging for that a lot. They're being greedy with that. It's not worth that much money. And she's always like, oh, but we can afford it though. Like, let's get it because we can afford it. Like, but I don't want to spend that much money on that. You know, we could spend our money on something else which is worth the money that we're going to buy it for. Pay for it, I mean. You know, that's the way I look at things. When I buy something, I think, right, first of all, can I afford it? Okay, I can afford it. So secondly, is it worth that much money? And, you know, either yes or no. If the answer's no, then obviously don't buy it, unless there's an exceptional circumstance. There's always going to be people in any world, in any country, that can't afford things, because that's how the world works. You know, there's people that can't afford things, there's people that are lower down in the thing, there's middle class people, and then there's higher class people. You know, that's just how it is. Rich people, people that get by, and poor people. And the way that you need to just get by, in my head, like, to me, it's a very simple thing, you know. And with all these prices going up and everything happening at the moment, people will be a lot better off, in my head, right? This is how it works. It works for me, and if it works for me, then it must work for other people, because it's on the same sort of scale. Instead of buying things, you know, even if you usually buy things, we'll use this cost of coffee as an example. Say every day before, like, 3 years ago, every day you went and bought one. Now the prices have gone up. You think to yourself, do I still really need that? And is that worth what I'm going to pay for it? The answer to both of those is no. So don't buy it. Now you're saving £3 a day, roughly. You know? That's the way I do it, and I think that's the way a lot of people would be better off if they did it like that, if they just lived life like that. Is that worth that money? Should I still buy it? You know, all these people that are saying, oh, I can't afford to buy it, I can't afford the bills, I can't afford this, are probably still buying the things that they used to buy. You know, sometimes you just have to cut back on things. I'm not saying I agree that the prices are going high, because that is stupid, but there's some things you have to pay for. You have to pay for electric, you have to pay for gas, unless you're in a situation where you don't need electrical gas, or you've got solar. I know there'll be some people out there that go, ha 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 ha, I don't pay for electric, I've got solar panels and all this bollocks. Fair enough, that's good for you, you've got it sussed out. If you've got your own solar panels, that is, and they're your own. But for the majority of us, we have to buy certain things. Yeah, like, we have to buy petrol and diesel, or we have to buy train tickets, or we have to buy whatever we have to buy in order just to get by daily life. But then there's things you don't have to buy. Don't get them. Anyway, that's enough of my unnecessary lesson in life that comes from not a lot of knowledge. To me, in my head, life is a very simple game, and you have to adjust things to play the game and win the game. My goal is to win the game, and by definition of winning the game, that is, when I'm older, my kids, yeah, have got a good start in life, and I've done well bringing them up, and I've done well saving up, and I've got them a good start in life. That's winning the game for me. When I'm an old age pensioner, I'm sitting there, and my kids have got enough money to maybe buy a house or deposit on a house and get a car, all because of my hard work. I've won the game. Yeah. If when I'm older my kids are struggling and they can't afford to do anything, and they're still living with me and, you know, me and my wife, when they're 40 years old, or maybe they're in a council house and struggling like hell, you know, proper poor, no money, because I haven't managed to save up any money for them, then I've lost the game. That's my view on it, right? So I'm always striving to do the best for my kids, because that's what it's all about for me. Yeah, other people's idea in life, that's their problem, but that's me. Yeah, so that's why I do what I do for them. So yeah, that's what you got to do. You play your own game in life to win your own game. That's my game, and I'm playing it. I'll see you later, you lot. Leave in the comments what you think about everything that I've spoken about in this video, the prices of things, and what's your game. Yeah, as I said, everyone's got their own game. And that's my game. I've just explained my game. As a summary, the goals are to have a good life myself, but make sure my kids have a good start in life, because that's what it's all about. So, what's your game? Tell me your game. I'll see you later, you lot. I've got to go to work. Catch you later. Enjoy yourselves. Make sure you play your game properly. Ciao for now, you lot.